Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Investing with Confidence. As always, every single week, I am your host, Joshua David, and we are happy to have you with us today. And always, every single week, I have my good friend, my good pal, the mastermind of this whole operation. He is the one and the only Mr. Al Connickson. How you doing today, Al?
I am doing very well, Josh. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. You can't get any better. Summer is almost here. We've had some beautiful, beautiful days all across the country, and we have more beautiful days to come. And you know why? Because we have a takeover. We have a Twitter takeover.
Well, maybe. Yeah,
The-
it's still a little up in the air there, but it looks like Elon Musk might be the new owner of Twitter.
It looks like it, and that's going to be some of the things we're going to talk about here today. Some different stocks that we had this takeover with Twitter. Facebook had some earnings this week. We had a lot of earnings, I should say.
We're a big week.
Big week in earnings, and markets obviously bringing some big volatility once again, and really to help our listeners make better investing decisions. That's our goal here today: educate people on the market, how it works, and different ways to utilize it, whether you're looking for income strategies or long-term wealth strategies. And our sponsor, Online Trading Academy, actually on their 25th year, teaching people just like you how to trade and invest with the financial markets. All locations all across the country, specifically locally here in Denver, Colorado, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and also Atlanta, Georgia. So, Al, let's talk about some of these great things. We had earnings, as I mentioned. Stocks are on the move. The stock market is back down to where it was almost in late February. So we're seeing some drops in the market again, and I think investors are getting a little bit concerned.
Absolutely.
How are you helping people right now stay confident and having consistency in their trading and investment accounts?
Well, that's a great question, and this is probably maybe the most important time that we've at least seen for many years for people to really understand what's going on and what the opportunities are and what the concerns are. You mentioned earnings.
Yep.
We had some great earnings. Facebook or Meta, which formerly known as Facebook.
That sounds like our hometown guy in Minneapolis, Prince.
That's
formerly known.
That's right. Well, Meta actually, before earnings, they were down about 48% for the year. And by the way, there are a lot of stocks, a lot of the big stocks that moved this market up since 2009 are well into bear territory.
Yeah, that's a key right there.
Yeah. Facebook's earnings weren't great. They just weren't horrible. And I think I said this before, that we're at a point right now in the market where it doesn't have to be good news to move the market. It just has to be less bad news that moves the market.
And as you had mentioned, a lot of those big stocks that drove this market up, I mean, if you said Facebook, they're actually down 55% from their highs back in September.
Right. Yeah. And you look at the big, NVIDIA, some of those companies that were really the driver have taken a big hit. And what's happened is, and by the way, also this week we had the GDP report come out on Wednesday. And GDP, it was down 0.4% for the quarter, which means on an annual basis it contracted 1.4%. That is showing a slowing in growth. On the positive side, the consumer spending grew, but we're at kind of a tipping point where inflation is rising at such a high rate that it's actually overtaking the increase in wages. And at some point in time, people will start pulling back on their spending if that ratio or that relationship continues. So
there won't be any more money to spend.
Well, that's it.
That's the reason.
And they'll be pulling back, and we need that money to go into the economy.
Yeah.
The interesting thing though is that with the increase in wages and the increase in spending, that's also increasing inflation. So we've got the inflation issue to deal with. Things have changed. We're kind of going into a new economic situation, one that we haven't seen for a long time. Because when you think about it, what has driven this market over the last 12 years or so, 12, 14 years, 13 years? It's been the quantitative easing that the Fed put into effect back in 2009,
which is printing of money.
It's printing money. They've put
so much money
trillions of dollars into the economy. That's liquidity that goes into something. But they also kept interest rates at zero. So you've got zero interest rates, huge liquidity. Companies could borrow basically at zero, and then put money into the market, put money into their companies. This big move up has been Fed driven. What is the Fed doing now? The exact opposite. It's quantitative tightening to a degree that we've never seen before. So they're raising interest rates. They're diminishing or reducing their balance sheet. So, in other words, taking some of the liquidity out of the market. So, it's the opposite of what's happened before.
Mhm.
You're going to see opinions on both sides going forward. You're going to see people saying, the market's good, the market's going to do well. You're going to see people saying that the market is really facing some strong headwinds. Morgan Stanley's top equity analyst Mike Wilson just came out saying that the S&P 500 is going to join the bear territory, down another 9 to 10%. It's already down around 11 or 12%. So those are issues that you try to figure that out because you can read one opinion one day, another opinion the next day. That's why it's so important to get the education to understand why markets move, why prices change, why they move, how to identify the direction they're going to go, and how you can take advantage of the opportunities. That comes with the right education. The market, the bull market that we've seen has basically been an everything bull market where anything would have gone up and did go up. That's not the case, and people saw that in the first quarter. People that were in what we call that buy and hold or buy and hope strategy saw their portfolios take a big hit here in this first quarter.
You're right, and we're seeing a lot of those people coming into Online Trading Academy
We
wondering
are.
why, and then how can they fix that? How can they improve that situation? But you hit the nail on the head. We have GDP slowing growth, interest rates are rising, inflation is increasing, and you kind of hit a great point. Is the opposite of what's been going on the past 13 years is happening now. So the market went up for those 13 years. Is that opposite happening now? Well, you look at the NASDAQ right now, that's actually down roughly about 20%, a little bit over actually,
Sure. That's
as of the
bear
recording of the show
market.
here today. And also the S&P 500 is down as well, about 12 to 15%, but depending on when you look at the market. So that's why it's so important right now to learn strategies and techniques and get educated on the markets, how they work, how they move, and where price might move next for different income strategies and wealth strategies. And we have investing classes at our local academies for investing with confidence right in Minneapolis, Minnesota, actually Bloomington, Minnesota, I should say,
Right. Hmm.
Atlanta, Georgia, and also Denver, Colorado. And these are classes where we've taught thousands, just like you, are many strategies which are designed to teach you to make better investing decisions. So it's the beginning of the show, and I got some tickets to give away for this free class. When you call in right now, you can receive 2 tickets for this investing class. It's about 2 hours. We have these during the week. We also have them on the weekends, in the mornings, afternoons, also the evenings. So you can receive 2 tickets plus some free stock picks that comes in a financial quick start kit when you call right now. So call 888-682-6466. That's 888-682-6466 for 2 tickets right here in Denver, Bloomington, or Atlanta, Georgia. You can also text the word invest to the number 484848. Al, I mentioned different income strategies. I want to talk about some of those income strategies coming up next with multiple assets and also being more capital efficient with the capital that you do have. This is Josh and Al, Investing with Confidence. We'll be right back.